So continuing with our discussion about the aphasic syndromes, we have so far discussed the Wernicke's aphasia and the Broca's aphasia. They are very important. Now moving on to the next part, that is conduction aphasia. So we have discussed last time that this is the Wernicke's area, the sensory speech center, the Broca's areas, in the motor speech center, and they are connected with each other with the arcuate fasciculus or the conducting fibers. So if these conducting fibers are affected or there is a disconnection between the Broca's and Wernicke's area, so that results in conduction aphasia. Now what is severely affected in conduction aphasia is the repetition. Repetition is most severely impaired in a case of conduction aphasia because patient is, if sensory speech center is intact, so patient is able to understand, but he is not able to convey this to the Broca's motor area because of the breach in the conducting fibers. So repetition is severely impaired. Comprehension, that is preserved. Fluency, preserved. If I talk about the speech, so the patient they come up with wrong words, and that too phonetically wrong words. So that is called as phonemic paraphasia. An example I have told you last time also, that if you ask him to name a pencil and he say it as a plantain, so that is called as phonemic paraphasia. So this is how the speech is. Speech is full of phonemic paraphasias. Similarly, if you ask him to name, again there will be phonemic paraphasia. Because of the loss of integrity of Wernicke's speech center and Broca's motor speech center, right? So this is how does a conduction aphasia looks like. Now moving on to the global aphasia, when there is a combined dysfunction of Broca's area, speech area and the conducting fibers. So this is called as global aphasia. What is the cause of this conduction aphasia? If there is any CV in the temporoparietal junction, so that results in conduction aphasia. And global aphasia results when there is an infarction in the entire MCA territory. Say if there is an occlusion of the stem of MCA. Okay, we have discussed that if there is an occlusion of the stem of MCA, so that results in global aphasia because Broca's area is also affected, Wernicke's area is affected, as well as the conducting fibers are also affected. So there is it is usually associated with hemiplegia, hemisensory loss, and hemianopia. Homonymous hemianopia. So what would be the outcome? Because there is a combined dysfunction of Broca's and Wernicke's area, so comprehension, that is lost. The speech, that is either non-fluent or the patient is rather mute. Repetition will be impaired because Wernicke's is affected, and naming also is impaired. So everything is affected in a patient of global aphasia. So this happens where there is a combined dysfunction of Broca's and Wernicke's area. So moving on to the next segment of what are transcortical aphasias. So now we'll talk about the transcortical aphasias. So what do you mean by basically transcortical aphasia? Transcortical aphasias means there is the core of language network is intact, but it is disconnects from the rest of the cortical areas. Say if you talk about the fluent posterior transcortical aphasia, fluent aphasia I have told you is called a Wernicke's aphasia. Okay, it is another name for Wernicke's aphasia. So fluent aphasia, when we talk about a posterior aphasia, when we talk about, so classically we are talking about Wernicke's aphasia. But when we add this word transcortical, that means that the Wernicke's area is disconnected from the other temporoparietal association areas. Okay, so what is the result? It is essentially similar to the Wernicke's aphasia, but repetition that is intact in it. This is how it is different from other aphasic syndromes, that repetition it is intact because the core language network is intact. It is only disconnected from the surrounding association areas, right? So what is the cause? The cause is usually there is a lesion in an area posterior to the Wernicke's area. It is also called a sensory transcortical aphasia. So it has three names: fluent transcortical aphasia, posterior transcortical aphasia, and sensory transcortical aphasia. Essentially similar to Wernicke's area, only the repetition that is intact. So as you know, in comprehension in a patient of Wernicke's aphasia is impaired. Yes, it is severely impaired, but repetition it is intact. Naming I've told you, it is impaired. Fluency, how is the fluency in a patient of Wernicke's area? It is preserved, rather increased, okay? So that is preserved. So very similar to Wernicke's except the repetition part which is intact. And the lesion is usually posterior to Wernicke's area. The classical cause is there is a posterior watershed zone infarction. Okay, so the cause, if I talk about the cause here, so the cause is usually posterior watershed zone infarction between the PCA and the MCA territory, or there is a neoplasm in the temporoparietal area posterior to Wernicke's area. If there is a lesion, there is a neoplasm posterior to Wernicke's area at the junction of temporoparietal cortex. So I hope it is clear now. Now coming on to the fluent, I have to write here non-fluent. Coming on to non-fluent or anterior transcortical aphasia. So it is very similar to Broca's aphasia, which is non-fluent aphasia classically. Again, Broca's area is anterior, also called as motor transcortical aphasia. So again, very similar to Broca's aphasia, only thing is repetition again is intact. Okay, and usually the lesion is anterior and superior to Broca's area. The classical cause, if I say, what is the classical cause of this aphasia? That is anterior watershed zone infarction between the territory of anterior cerebral artery and middle cerebral artery. Or if there is an infarction in the area of supplementary motor area, which is being supplied by the anterior cerebral artery in the medial medial cerebral hemisphere. It is being represented on the medial side, supplementary motor area, or a lesion in superior and anterior to Broca's area. So here only I want to mention a very important thing, that all of the aphasic syndromes which we have discussed so far, be it Wernicke's aphasia, be it Broca's aphasia, conduction aphasia, global aphasia, posterior transcortical aphasia, all of them are particularly related to middle cerebral artery territory, middle cerebral artery infarction. But this aphasia is particular to anterior cerebral artery infection, because if there is a lesion in supplementary motor area, again it is being supplied by the anterior cerebral artery. Most of the frontal cortex is also being supplied by the anterior cerebral artery. So if a question asks in MCQ that which aphasic syndrome results from ACA syndrome or ACA territory infarction, so the answer would be this non-fluent anterior transcortical aphasia. So again, the comprehension I have told you, that is preserved in a Broca's aphasia, right? And if I say the naming is impaired. And if I say the fluency, so fluency you are well versed with, that is decreased. So this is all about the transcortical aphasias, and the combination of this sensory transcortical aphasia and motor transcortical aphasia is called as mixed transcortical aphasia or isolation syndrome. So what happens in that? That is seen when the intact core of language network is separated from the rest of the brain. Okay, so what happens in that case? You are well versed with that the comprehension will be impaired, naming will be impaired, fluency will be impaired, only repetition is intact. So what is the cause? Complete watershed zone infarction. Anteriorly also, posteriorly also. Apart from that, carbon monoxide poisoning. Apart from that, anoxia. These are important causes. So that is called as isolation syndrome or mixed transcortical aphasia. So next up in this segment, we'll discuss about the anomic aphasia. So last topic for today is anomic aphasia. Anomic aphasia, I have told you when I begin this topic with you that anomia is the deficit of naming. Okay. आप किसी पेशेंट को कोई ऑब्जेक्ट शो करते हो और वो उसका नाम नहीं बता पाता है, रादर ही टेल यू सम रॉन्ग वर्ड और वो आपको उसका डिस्क्रिप्शन बताता है, सो दैट इज इंक्लूडेड इन एनोमिक अफेसिया, right? And anomic aphasia is also called as the minimal dysfunction syndrome of language network. Okay, because इसका prognosis भी बहुत अच्छा है and there is minimal dysfunction in it. So what could be the lesion in this? It could occur because of if there is a lesion anywhere in the left hemisphere language network. If there is a lesion anywhere in left hemisphere language network. Apart from that, it is the single most common finding in aphasic patients, right? And most common language abnormality in head trauma, most common language abnormality in head trauma, in metabolic encephalopathy, in Alzheimer's dementia. So this becomes important that it is the single most common finding in patients of head trauma, metabolic encephalopathy and Alzheimer's dementia, right? Now we'll discuss each one of them. If I talk about the comprehension, so comprehension here is preserved. Fluency is also preserved, although there are some word finding pauses. There is a difficulty in word finding, right? Word finding in spelling, in confrontation naming. So these are impaired. Confrontation naming, spelling, word finding, these are impaired, right? So fluency is otherwise preserved except for word finding pauses. And if I talk about the speech, so how would it be? Because I've told you patient is not able to come up with correct words, so it would be circumlocucious. Patient will give you a description of its use or something like that. Circumlocucious. Apart from that, it would be paraphasic. Patient will come up with wrong words, right? And uninformative. And naming is severely impaired, right? Repetition is preserved in it. So this is all about the anomic aphasia. Okay. Now this just I want you to just do. We will just have a gist of whatsoever we have discussed so far. So coming on to the Wernicke's aphasia, comprehension, quick. Just we'll do a quick revision of whatsoever we have read so far. So in Wernicke's aphasia, comprehension is impaired, right? Repetition, how is the repetition? Again impaired. Naming impaired, but fluency preserved, right? Coming on to the fluent transcortical aphasia or the sensory transcortical aphasia. I have told you it's similar to Wernicke's except the repetition that is preserved, right? Rest is identical to Wernicke's. Coming on to the Broca's aphasia, comprehension here is preserved. Repetition impaired. Naming again impaired. Fluency that is again impaired, right? Non-fluent transcortical aphasia is very similar to Broca's aphasia. Only thing is repetition is preserved. So rest it is similar to Broca's. Coming on to the conduction aphasia. So in conduction aphasia, repetition that is severely impaired. Comprehension that is present. Naming में there will be phonemic paraphasia, right? And fluency is in comprehension it is somehow preserved, right? Global aphasia, everything is affected, be it comprehension, be it repetition, naming, fluency. And if it is isolation syndrome, if I write down the last one, isolation syndrome or the mixed transcortical aphasia, so what would be the scenario? Only repetition will be preserved rest all will be affected. So it is equivalent of Global's aphasia. Only thing is repetition is preserved. So this is the gist of aphasic syndromes which we have discussed so far. Hope you enjoyed this session. I'll leave you with 2 exercises to decode. Just tell me next time what are the, or just give me in comment section that what is the answer of those questions, right? And just do let me know if you want me to discuss any topic in gastroenterology or rheumatology. Just suggest me in the comment section. Thank you very much.